Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to thank the chairman and the ranking member for their support of this piece of legislation. And of course, as it has been said, we're here today to honor Ola Mize by naming the Veterans Clinic in Gadsden, Alabama after him. Colonel Mize was a soldier in the United States Army during the Korean War, and as has already been mentioned, he was awarded the Medal of Honor for his actions on June the 10th and the 11th, 1953. Most people may be surprised to learn that just over 100 recipients of the Congressional Medal of Honor are alive today, and only one of them lives in Alabama. And I'm honored that Ola Mize resides in the district I represent, which is the 4th District of Alabama. Ola Mize was a son of an Alabama sharecropper. He dropped out of school in 1946 after the 9th grade, and he did that so he could take care of his mother, his brothers, and his sisters. A few years later, he decided he could do better. So he left a job that was paying $15 a week and then enlisted in the United States Army. However, when he got to the Army, when he went to apply, he was rejected because he weighed only 120 pounds. But he was persistent, and recruiters finally let him enlist. Mize's military career would see him courageously rise to the high-ranking position of colonel after the humble beginnings of a young high school dropout who was once rejected by the Army. Colonel Mize's story is a great example to all Americans who aspire to great things in the face of challenges. The Medal of Honor is the highest military decoration awarded by the United States government. It is bestowed on a member of the United States Armed Forces who risked their life above and beyond the call of duty while engaged in an action against an enemy of the United States. Colonel Mize exemplifies this, and I think it is appropriate and fitting that he be honored again by the naming of this clinic in Gadsden, Alabama. Colonel Ola Mize earned his Medal of Honor when he was a sergeant for the U.S. Army with Company K of the 15th Infantry Regiment of the 3rd Infantry Division. During one particular battle in the Korean War, his company was committed to the defense of an outpost in the southern region of what is now South Korea. And at the time, the Chinese were under heavy attack of the area. With all the company's officers dead or wounded, Mize worked to establish a defensive position while dragging wounded into the shelters made by timbers pulled from American bunkers destroyed by enemy fire. Over the next several hours, he assembled an impromptu patrol that went from bunker to bunker, firing out of the open spaces in an effort to make the Chinese believe that they were still opposed by a vigorous force. American counterattack forces reached Mize's position about noon on the 11th day of June. And after helping to re-secure the outpost, Mize got permission to take his wounded men back to American lines. Upon reaching friendly territory, Mize, the regimental commander, and the division commander were all standing together. The two commanders did not recognize Mize, whose uniform at the time was in tatters, his flak jacket smoking, and his face badly swollen from burns. "Who are you?" demanded the regimental commanders. "Sergeant Mize," he answered. "You're not Mr. Mize," the commander responded. "He's dead." His Medal of Honor citation writes that Sergeant Mize's valorous conduct and unflinching courage reflect lasting glory upon himself and upon the noble traditions of military service. Several months later, informed that he would receive the Medal of Honor, Mize told the commanding officers that he didn't want it because it really should go to the entire platoon. Reluctantly, he was flown back to the United States so he could attend a ceremony in Denver, Colorado. He was decorated by President Dwight D. Eisenhower on September the 7th, 1954. In the early 1960s, Ola Mize joined the Special Forces and did 3 tours in Vietnam, and he retired as colonel in 1981. Ola Mize is a great soldier that has served our country with bravery and class, and it is my pleasure today to offer this resolution in his honor. I yield back the balance of my time.
Gentleman recognizes the gentleman from California.
Hey, Mr. Speaker, I'm prepared to yield back, but reserve my time now.
Reserves his time. Gentleman from Florida.
Mr. Speaker, I yield back the balance of my time.
Gentleman from Florida yields back.
Mr. Speaker, I ask unanimous consent that all members may have 5 legislative days in which to revise and extend remarks and include extraneous material in H.R. 5736, and we yield back the balance of my time.
Without objection, gentleman yields back the balance of his time. The question is, will the House suspend the rules and pass H.R. 5736? Those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. In the opinion of the chair, 2/3 being in the affirmative, the rules are suspended. Gentleman from Florida.
I object to the vote on the grounds that a quorum is not present, and I make a point of order that a quorum is not present.
Pursuant to Clause 8 of Rule 20 and the chair's prior announcement, further proceedings on this motion will be postponed. Gentleman from California.
I move to suspend the rules and pass the bill H.R. 1594.
The clerk